Last week in e-commerce, the California Consumer Privacy Act took effect. Online holiday sales grew 18%, while returns grew 24%. Store closures hit an all-time high in 2019. Amazon is amassing its delivery fleet to complete its world domination, and mobile traffic, not surprisingly, is on the rise. What does all of this mean? Well, pull yourself up a chair and let's talk about it. This is Last Week in E-commerce, where we talk about the hottest topics in e-commerce each and every week. My name is TJ Gamble, and let's get right to it. The California Consumer Privacy Act took effect on January 1st. The simple explanation of CCPA is that it's basically a less aggressive version of GDPR, but only for residents of the state of California. Under CCPA, a California-based consumer has the right to know what data you're collecting and request access to it. They can request that their info be deleted completely, and they can opt out of you contacting them or disclosing their personal data. Hey, I get the usefulness of it, and I'm all for it. However, this can be a big burden for small, resource-strapped companies. It can be costly to figure out and manage access to all of this data, especially if you're using third-party services. California, in their infinite wisdom, made some thresholds to try and minimize the impact to small and mid-sized businesses, but they seemingly left some ambiguity that may, depending on how it's enforced, make this apply to a lot of small businesses. CCPA only applies to you if you meet one of the following criteria. Annual sales above $25 million. That's not a problem for most of you. Derives 50% or more of your annual revenue from selling consumers' personal information. Again, mostly applies to social media and data collection platforms. So far, so good. But this next one really seems to be the kicker. If you handle the personal information of 50,000 or more consumers, households, or devices, then you fall under CCPA. That's really only 137 people per day. At a $20 average order value, that's just a $1 million a year online business. But what's considered personal information? If they just browsed the site and didn't purchase, does that qualify? Depending on how they enforce this clause, it could really apply to just about any website that's doing a moderate amount of traffic. You don't have to be in California for this to apply to you. It's really more like taxes in that you need to adhere to the law if you sell to residents of California. Check with a professional if you're concerned with this new law, but if you are GDPR compliant, it looks like that will hold you over on this regulation as well. According to stats published by MasterCard, online sales from November 1st to December 24th grew 18.8% over the same period last year. I think this e-commerce thing is here to stay, and if you don't expect that trend to continue to grow, then you probably should start buying some stock in Sears or Toys R Us or one of these other failed retailers. UPS is estimating that e-commerce returns could be up as much as 26%. So e-commerce is up 18%, but returns are up 26%. I think that shows an interesting shift in how consumers are using e-commerce. With retailers making it simpler, people are no longer afraid of ordering things online that may need to be returned. This doesn't bode well for physical stores that have long had advantages of simple returns. And that leads me to my next story. 2019 set a new record for physical store closures. As of the 1st of November, over 9,300 retail stores had closed in the U.S., with expectations putting that number at about 12,000 by year's end. I'll be interested to see if we actually hit that projection. Regardless, 9,300 is a 59% increase over the same period in 2018. That's a big jump in 1 year, even if it was padded by Payless Shoe Source completely collapsing and closing all 2,100 of its stores. Mobile traffic is on the rise. According to stats published by Content Square, mobile traffic, which includes phone and tablet, grew 1% in 2019. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that means it now accounts for 68% of all traffic on the web. That number is only going to continue to grow. I know 20-year-olds that have virtually never used a desktop computer. They never needed to. They've had a phone their entire life, and what they can accomplish on it is amazing. If you aren't focusing on your mobile optimization, then you're missing the thing that could probably make the biggest difference in your business. So stop this video and go do that. Or don't stop this video. Just watch the video till the end, then go fix your mobile optimization. Amazon's building its delivery fleet. In 2018, Amazon announced that it would start building out its own logistical capabilities. In less than 2 years, it's already added 30,000 delivery vans to its fleet and is now handling about half of its own deliveries. Because Amazon is half the US e-commerce market and growing, that means it's already handling about 25% of all e-commerce deliveries in the United States. 2 years. 25% in 2 years. There's no end to their dominance in sight. Part of me wants to cringe and hope they fail or some competitors emerge to at least foster some competition. On the other side, as many package delivery issues as I've had in the last year, I kind of want to see them exert extreme pain on the current logistical companies in the US. So I'll just remain torn on the issue. Let me know your thoughts on this or any of the stories I've covered in the comments of this video. Do not let my opinion be the only one that's heard. If you're serious about growing your e-commerce skills or staying up to date with the latest e-commerce trends, then consider hitting that subscribe button, tapping that notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time we put out this juicy e-commerce goodness. Of course, hitting that thumbs up button is always helpful. I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.